Hello, welcome back. This week is filled with three of my favorite things: reading, cooking, and learning. I have wanted to start cycle syncing for a really long time, so we're reading about it, I'm sharing what I learn, and then we're trying a lot of new recipes in the kitchen together to support the menstrual phase of my cycle. And we have a lot of bookish moments sprinkled in the video as well. So let's get started. Book of the month choices in. So we're going to show you what they are. I love doing book of the month. I've been doing it for like 2 years and it's just so fun to me. So I got An Academic Affair. This was a rom-com type book where I believe they are forced into a fake marriage, and we love a fake marriage trope. This was a kind of random choice for me because I don't always do cozy fantasy, but the reviews on it were incredible. So we're gonna try it. And this is the book that I am most excited about. It's called Lightbreakers, and I love anything that is dealing with time travel. A man is given the opportunity to time travel and go back in the past to when his daughter was alive, and I believe it's dealing with the implications of what happens when he does that. And we have to read what the bookmark says. Booked for the day, I like that one. And now I am going to look through the Moon Cycle cookbook and see what I want to incorporate into my diet this week based on where I'm at in my cycle. I am on my period right now. It's so funny, I started this for the book club on Monday, and that's when I started my period, and then the first chapter in this is about winter, which is the menstrual phase. So that felt fitting, but I'm also now a little bit tired and wanting to rest more this week. So I'm gonna walk and get a matcha. I think that will give me a little bit of a boost of motivation, and then we're gonna dive into this so we can read a little bit of it together, and I'll probably need to place my grocery order and cook something tonight. Oops. We've returned with the matcha. I had to do a little bit of other work things, so got a little bit melty, but it's still good. And now I have the cookbook out. I'm gonna go through and read some of it and then decide what we're gonna make for the menstrual phase. I'm also sitting at my kitchen table because my office is not fully set up yet and I don't wanna be in there. So the kitchen table's working. I love the description of the book that the foreword has. It says, "This book is like tucking yourself into your favorite cafe on a snowy day, bursting with comfort and delicious joy, and having a conversation with a forever friend." I'm really loving the opening. The author's talking about why she decided to write the book, and it says that she was suffering from depression and realized it was because she wasn't taking the time to care what I thought about myself, to physically listen to my body and give it what it needs, or to celebrate myself in all my imperfect, quirky, and loving ways. I decided to commit to these 4 acts for the rest of my life: hearing, listening, acknowledging, and empowering. And then she was with her friends and they were talking, and she started wondering, where is the support during our periods? What do we really know about what happens in our bodies and spirits during each phase of the menstrual cycle, and how can we best support and celebrate ourselves? So that's what this whole book is about, making women feel empowered and learning how to support themselves, which is a really beautiful message, and I'm very excited about. Also, like, look how pretty the photos are in this book. back to my studies. One thing I'm really liking about how they've set this book up is they're using the traditional Chinese medicine concept of relating each phase of the cycle to a season. So for that, they have the menstrual phase is winter, follicular spring, ovulation summer, and luteal fall. I've always been really fascinated with traditional Chinese medicine, so it was cool to see that that was one of the ways they formatted the book, and that it did feel really intuitive to me and resonate with me. I'm not very far still. I'm into creating your own rituals now. I also got at my computer and was taking notes in Notion, and it's so fun because it kind of feels like I'm in school again, except I never really liked school, probably because I went to school for accounting and like, what was I doing? Why did I do that? But I really like studying and learning when it's a topic that I'm really interested in, which is probably part of my ADHD and like the ability to hyper focus if it's something that is piquing my interest. If it's not piquing my interest though, don't even bother. I finally made it past the intro, and in the cooking tips and tricks, this really inspired me to go to the farmer's market this weekend, which is funny because when my mom was here 2 weekends ago, I was just talking about how I wanted to start going to the farmer's market. It was just talking about how that supports the local economy, reduces the environmental impact because shipping food long distances creates a large carbon footprint, and a lot of foods will lose their nutritional value after they're traveling long distances, so it's better when you're eating them freshly picked. And I do also think it's interesting, the book kind of touched on it, but how now in the Western world, we expect to be able to eat foods all throughout the year, whereas in other places or historically, we've eaten more in flow with the seasons. And I feel like maybe this is a future topic, but I would really love to learn more about how to eat seasonally, and then also how to eat in a way that is more sustainable. That's something I've never explored, but I do think that I would like learning that. I also want to make my own vegetable stock after reading this. I've never tried that, and I don't know why it hasn't occurred to me to save my vegetable scraps and make my own stock, because I do buy a lot of stock each week. So I think I'm going to, I read how they said to do it, but I might watch a video too just to make sure I understand, and then get a list going of which vegetables to use to make your own stock, because there are some ones you'd want to avoid, like broccoli or cauliflower or Brussels sprouts, things with like a more strong bitter taste. And the other thing I want that I was talking about in here, and I've wanted this for a long time, is a rice cooker. I don't own one of those. I was just talking to Tyler this weekend about how having the shredded chicken on hand that we make in the slow cooker has been really helpful for us eating at home, because if you're like, oh, I don't want to cook tonight, if you have some form of a protein that's already prepared, you're like, okay, I can at least throw something together and then not order out. So I do agree, if I had quinoa or rice or grain on hand, then I would definitely be more inclined to eat at home, and a rice cooker where I can just set it and forget it would be so much easier. I also kind of suck at cooking rice. It's like a running joke between Tyler and me. I feel like I fumble it every time, and I don't know why it's so hard for me. So I think he wants me to get a rice cooker too, so I can stop doing that. And now I'm finally on like the first real chapter, and this is for the menstrual phase, which is the phase I'm in right now. So we're gonna see what I should add to my grocery list. It's like 5 and I'm already starving. Here are all of the ingredients, or I guess most of them. I think I found a way to incorporate a lot of the ingredients that were suggested for the menstrual phase in the cookbook tonight, and I'm really excited. It sounds good. I also needed to use the shredded chicken that I made on Sunday, so I needed a recipe that could do that too. I thought I would show you 2 other things I got at Whole Foods to try that I've never gotten before. One was this freestyle, it's not focusing well, but it was the Freestyle Snacks green olives. I love green olives, and I like having these if I'm on the go, since this kind is not refrigerated. And simple lemon. I don't know why this really... Okay, I don't know why that's not working. But this is from a brand called Sunny Fine Foods. I've never tried it before. Simple lemon. I like to usually make my own salad dressings or vinaigrettes, but then sometimes I feel like I'm not eating salad because I'm like, oh, I don't really want to make the vinaigrette even though it doesn't take that long. So I thought this would be nice for those times because all it has in it is lemon juice, avocado oil, date, filtered water, extra virgin olive oil, sea salt, and mustard seed. So very minimal ingredients and a nice option I thought to have in the refrigerator. I thought that I was gonna have time to make brown rice, and then I realized that needed to simmer for like 50 minutes. So we're using quinoa, but that was still one of the suggested foods for this phase. And then I also have cilantro, ginger, baby spinach, and turmeric. And then the other ingredients that I showed. So this will be like a really nice warming meal. And I think it hits a lot of the nutrients that were suggested. And then tomorrow and throughout the week, I'm gonna try some from the cookbook. I just needed a little more time to plan. So I'm gonna start with the quinoa since this will have to simmer for 17 minutes. And then while that's cooking, I will get everything else going. It's really late, so I'm hoping it's quick. I grocery shopped at a grocery store that I never go to, and I was so slow there, and it was also a really bad grocery store, so I'm just gonna start making the drive to the grocery stores that I prefer. I'm not doing that again. Oh, and I had to go to a second grocery store because the grocery store didn't have everything that I needed, so it just got really late. But maybe I'll just sleep in tomorrow or something. Whoops, I should have done that over the sink. Okay, we had to make 2 small changes at the end because I was kind of combining 2 recipes and I used more shredded chicken than I think I should have, so I added more coconut milk at the end. It was too thick and it was also way too spicy, whatever this brand is. It said to use 2 to 3 tablespoons. I used 2 and it was so hot, so I was hoping the coconut milk would cool it down more, and it did. And one of the recipes was for diced chicken, not shredded chicken, so it was just kind of a hodgepodge, but I think it works. And then I'm gonna put my cilantro on top. I don't always love cilantro, but I also don't hate it, so it's good this time of month. But it looks good and it's cozy, and it's definitely not a traditional curry, so this is like a fast Americanized curry. I finished going through the first section of the cookbook and picking out all of the recipes that I'm going to try to make for the rest of this week. I learned a lot in this. I thought this was really well written and gave really easy to follow steps. I also appreciate how it's very much follow your own rhythm still, and it's not like you must eat every single one of these foods. Still do whatever works for you, which I always appreciate. So at first it was talking about different things that you can do for cramps, which I do always experience every month, so I was definitely taking a lot of notes there. And one of the things it was talking about was magnesium, and it goes into the science more about the hormonal changes and the different nutrients that leave your body during that time. So if you like more science-based answers as to what's going on inside your body, this does cover that. I thought it was really helpful because they say different foods to add for soothing cramps, so like berries for antioxidants, cruciferous vegetables, ginger, hormone hormone supportive fats. After the section on what to do for cramps, there's a section on foods for nourishment. And I really loved this because it goes into detail about the different types of nutrients that you should be getting and what foods have those nutrients and then why you need it. I always make better choices for my body when I'm thinking about how it's going to help support me. So, oh, let me grab this food that's rich in iron because I need that right now, versus just simply based on taste or calorie in and calorie out. Like, those mindsets just don't really work for me. So it was great to have a little bit more knowledge behind why I would want to be eating certain foods. I feel like then I'm just so much more motivated to incorporate them in my diet. And so we're focusing on magnesium, zinc, antioxidants, iron, complex carbs, and hormone supportive fats, and then it will give you examples of those types of foods, and then the best part, recipes that include all of them. So I've selected a few recipes that I want to make. I can't wait. I'm gonna make brownies today because when I saw that that was an option, like, I'm gonna take that. It's funny because I always say I don't like chocolate, but I do like brownies. I think I love like how gooey they are. So we're definitely doing that. And then there was a really good breakfast porridge that I want to try. I've never made a breakfast porridge, so I was like, I'm definitely gonna do that. It looked pretty easy. And a chia berry dessert that looked delicious. I keep saying that I want to make a chia pudding, and I've never done that either. So I thought this was the perfect time to explore that. And then tonight, I think I'm gonna make the vegan mac and cheese that's in here. I'll probably add chicken to it just to have a little bit more protein since it is a vegan one, which I know sometimes like defeats the purpose of adding chicken into a vegan dish, but that is okay. I like it because the base for the sauce on it has vegetables, so anytime there's like this sneaky vegetable recipes, I'm like, ooh, I gotta try it and see if it's good. I was gonna make butternut squash soup, but my grocery store didn't seem to have butternut squash right now, so we aren't doing that one unless they have butternut squash. What else are we gonna try? Ooh, I think I might try to make these breakfast bites that they have in here, except they call for beef, and I don't really eat beef. I don't feel like I digest it well, so I'm gonna try ground turkey in it instead and hope that that still tastes good. Ooh, and another thing that I'm excited to try is a cucumber sesame seaweed salad. I love seaweed salad. I always get that when I'm at a restaurant, and I didn't realize that it might be easy to make at home, but after reading this recipe, I was like, ooh, I think that I could. And the reason that they do it is seaweed is helpful in replenishing iron and zinc, and those both get depleted during our periods. So that's the type of knowledge that you can find in this book, and I just feel like it's so interesting when you can view food like that. For example, with the Brussels sprouts. These have antioxidants in the form of vitamin C, beta carotene, and vitamin B6, plus cancer-fighting compounds. So I don't know. And then I'm like, I should add more Brussels sprouts to my diet. And if I'm just basing things on taste, I'm like, I'm gonna go get a Coke at McDonald's, which I don't think I can do anymore. I used to always get Coke at McDonald's after my nail appointments, and I had a nail appointment today. And the last time I went to go get my McDonald's Coke, I was like, I don't know, like, I've been really trying to work with my naturopath on healing my gut and feeling better and working on my digestion. And so I was kind of questioning my McDonald's Coke, but I was like, I'm just gonna go anyway. Like, I'm on my period and I want the Coke, which is funny because in here it says that especially when you're on your period, avoid caffeine and avoid processed sugars, you know, the regular things. I haven't really been avoiding caffeine right now though. I don't know. We'll see in future periods if I do that. But I went to the McDonald's, and the only place that was out of electricity was McDonald's. There was one stoplight in the whole town that was down and flashing, and it was just a stoplight right in front of McDonald's, and the McDonald's was without power. So I pulled in and they were like, we don't have power, and I was like, I understand the sign. I will not get my McDonald's Coke ever again. Except I definitely probably will ever again. Like, if I'm back in my hometown, I do get a soda at Sonic, and I probably will keep doing that. Okay, anyway. Ooh, the other thing I might try today too, and maybe I'll make it while I'm cooking or while I'm reading my book tonight, is the vanilla cacao elixir. I am excited they put vanilla in the cacao, vanilla extract, because like I said, I don't always like chocolate, but I was like, ooh, that sounds so good with vanilla and cinnamon and coconut milk. And yeah, we're taking advantage of having chocolate during our period. And the reason why that I learned in this book, cacao is good during your period, is because it has magnesium. So that's why they always say to eat chocolate during your period. But it is better if you can get it in more of its pure form, which is when it is more like dark chocolate or cacao powder. So there we have it. I am now waiting on my groceries to be ready for pickup, and then we'll make the pasta and the chicken, and I can read my book. Laughing out loud at this book. There's a character called Yash, and the way he's telling the story, I literally feel like I'm there. Like, the dialogue between characters in this feels so real. Like, just how your friends would talk in real life. I'll give you an example of why I was just giggling. They're talking about this date this guy went on, and right now they're in a college setting, and I do love like an academic setting like this, so I am enjoying it so far. He says, well, I go and pick her up at Kappa, Yash says, standing in front of the coffee table facing us. Sam and I lean back at the same time as if we've turned on a TV. You have to sign in and give blood and take a vow of chastity, and then you have to wait in a parlor with doilies on all the tables for 20 minutes with all the other pathetic dudes. God, that guy Ian was there, the one who quoted Victor Hugo's last words. Sam chuckles. I see black light. I saw black light at Kappa for sure. It's creepy in that room and sort of smelly too. Finally, we hear steps on the stairs and these girls all come down together, and they look kind of alike, and now none of us remember anymore who we're taking out because we've been stuck in that playpen all night. However, someone identifies me from the lineup and we get the hell out of there. And I love when a writer writes like that. Like, it feels so real. And I'm only on page 12. Okay, back to my reading. I forgot to share my Kismet story about this book too. So I picked this book up at Laguna Beach Books. I wasn't sure what book I wanted to do for the book club, and then I saw they had one last copy of that there, and I was like, okay, it's the book. And when I got home to start reading it, it was a signed copy. There was like no indication on the front that it was signed, but it's a first edition signed by the author, and that felt just so special. Like, I got the very last one and it was signed, and then I had picked it for the book club. So anyway, that's my Kismet story. My groceries are ready. I'm used to just getting groceries for one meal at a time, but because I wanted to cook through some of the recipes in the book, I got things for multiple recipes. So I'm used to having this many things at once. Planned my day out differently. I would have done a longer walk outside, but it's dark too early. So I think that I might finish a podcast that I've been wanting to finish up, the gym on the treadmill, or just not work out tonight. I can't decide. My throat does hurt a little bit, so I don't want to push myself too much, but we'll see. Okay, let's take the groceries out. Here's my husband. husband left the Celsius in the freezer. He's lucky that didn't explode. I would know because I exploded one of those in the freezer last month and it was not fun to clean up. Oh, I found my butternut squash. They had it at a different grocery store. Whole Foods didn't have it, but so I might try making the soup tonight because I think that feels very good, and the book really suggested butternut squash when you're on your period. And I've never made butternut squash soup before, so I'm so excited. That's always been something I've wanted to try. The one bad thing about grocery pickup, I always feel a little bit of guilt because you can't use reusable bags when you do it since they bag it for you. But maybe in the future they'll come up with a solution where you can, because I really like the convenience of it. If I'm just getting stuff for one meal, I will do my shopping in person, but when it's multiple meals, it's so nice to do it online. Do you want to see it all? And here we have it. I did a Pilates stretch workout at home and it was so nice. I'm glad I didn't push myself and go to the gym. The stretch was just what I needed. And now I'm gonna start the soup. So I have to roast this. So I'm gonna get that going in the oven and then get the other ingredients for the soup going on the stove and then pivot to the vegan mac and cheese that I'm adding chicken to, so then it is no longer vegan. Okay, we're gonna pierce it and then cook it for 3 minutes in the microwave so it's easier to cut so I don't hurt myself. Oh, that was a big pierce. I got a little excited. Oh my god. Oh. This is terrifying. those recipes at the same time was kind of an interesting choice. My kitchen looks really crazy and Tyler's really busy at work right now. So when I was saying I was going to cook tonight, he was like, we can just order because I won't be able to help with cook or clean up. I will have to work. And I was like, no worries at all. I am really excited to cook. And he picked a really great night to not have to clean up. I'll show you after. It's wild looking. But I realized I never read about why the butternut squash soup and the mac and cheese were helpful for our bodies. So, butternut squash supports us by delivering beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A, which promotes skin health through its antioxidant properties. The coconut milk and butter supply a healthy dose of hormone-supportive fats. And that one was really good, but was a lot harder than I thought to make, mainly because the butternut squash, I need to look up some tips and tricks for cooking it because it took a lot longer to cook than I thought, and then scooping it out, I think it was just too hot. I let it cool for a while, but oh my gosh, that was like a process, but it was so delicious. So I don't know. I'll see if I can figure out how to do that better, because I did not do it well. But the vegan mac and cheese with roasted broccoli, that was easy and really good. And I'm amazed at the sauce. It uses a base of carrots and sweet potatoes that are blended with nutritional yeast and other things. And it tasted so good. Like, it was the perfect comfort meal. Tyler added some hot sauce to his, which they recommended in the book. I didn't. It was just like a nice cozy bowl. And if you like mac and cheese and you want something that has hidden vegetables in it and is way better for you, I highly recommend that one. I also added shredded chicken on top of mine just to get a little bit more protein in. This says that the broccoli contains vitamin B6 to combat inflammation and support progesterone. That is how you say that, I think. I don't think I messed anything up that much. Oh, the one thing I forgot to do when I was cooking is you were supposed to roast garlic, but I used the garlic cubes and then I realized you're supposed to roast them, so then I couldn't roast mine. But I still thought it tasted good, and at one point I used way too much butter when I was cooking the onions. If you noticed that and were like, why is there so much butter in that pan? It's because I read 2 teaspoons as 2 tablespoons, but I just drained it at the end anyway. So overall, I feel like this was a very successful night for trying 2 brand new recipes. And I will definitely make both again if I can figure out a better way to roast butternut squash. Y'all, please look at this. What was I doing in here? I'm gonna be cleaning for, like, this is what I made with the butternut squash. Like, what was happening? I could not touch it. I couldn't figure out how to scoop it. Yeah, so we'll be cleaning for quite a while now. I made the quinoa porridge for breakfast this morning, and I am very intrigued with the idea of quinoa porridge still. I think I want to try it with a different fruit and base though. I didn't dislike the tea in it, but I don't know if it was necessary, and it was kind of an extra step, so if I made it again, I think I would skip that. And I like pears, but I think I'm more of a berry person, so I want to look online and see if there's a recipe for a quinoa porridge with berries. I've also really been wanting to try a polenta porridge. I had one in Greece that was delicious, so maybe I will add that to my list. And then for the quinoa, it said It's an excellent source of protein and fiber to jumpstart your brain in the morning, and it contains iron, which I did not know quinoa contained iron, to help replenish your stores and combat period fatigue. And then pears are a great source of vitamin C. So that was interesting that quinoa had that additional benefit. I did know that it had more protein in it than brown rice, so sometimes I do try to do quinoa over rice just for that reason. And now, look how pretty it is. We're gonna make the vanilla cacao elixir, and then I'm gonna read a little bit of my book. So I'm excited for this one because it has coconut milk in it and vanilla, so I hope it will be a little bit less chocolatey, and cinnamon. So it feels like a very nice cozy beverage. Cinnamon helps elevate blood sugar, and then earlier I talked about how cacao is really good for magnesium. So this will be a perfect one to try. We have the beverage. It smells really good. That is so delicious. I feel like I should have always been making my hot chocolate with cacao powder. Wow. This is gonna be the perfect reading drink. And now it's kind of gloomy out and I get to read my book. This is like a very lovely way to spend my early evening. I don't know if I'm gonna cook dinner tonight. I feel like I've been in the kitchen a lot because I want to make my way through the cookbook, but I don't know. We have leftovers. We'll see. I'm not gonna think about that now. I'm just gonna relax and enjoy my drink and read my book. Hello, Miss Gigi. Reading for what feels like a really long time, and I finished part 1 of Heart the Lover. I wanted to do that today because it's what I'm reading for the book club, and I was supposed to be done with it by Sunday, so we are on track. And it's taking all of my willpower not to just go ahead and read all of part 2 because they left part 1 on such cliffhanger, and I love this book. I'm definitely gonna read another Lily King book next month. The way this is written is so realistic. It feels like you're just reading straight from her diary. The dialogue's great. The descriptions are perfect. It's very engaging. It is very fast-paced. Like, I could definitely just sit here and finish this entire book. And I feel very emotionally connected to the characters. I feel like that has not been happening in books for me lately, but I feel like I was falling in love with the character like right alongside her, and also really disliking one of the other ones. Some of the quotes about how much one of the characters loves the other are so good. Like, she's always talking about how she doesn't want to miss a single thing he's saying and can't wait for him to get back to the table. And I feel like you can just really feel her like yearning and almost obsession, if you will. And it sounds very realistic and I like it a lot. And I feel like there's also, I don't know what it's called when books do this, I want to look it up, when they reference something that makes you feel as if you're not reading a book. So she said, "The air is is as clean and sharp as it is in all the books when turbulent characters go seeking a cure. So I think that makes you feel even more like you're really like in the character's diary and her mind versus just reading a book. And yes, so far I would say I really, really like this. And I am not always a literary fiction lover. So if you are neither, this is like a read where you're gonna be like, I'm obsessed as soon as I started it, and I want to know what happens at the end of part 1. And part 2 is only like 24 pages, so I'm like, I'm reading Arcana Academy right now too. I was looking at it on my bookshelf, so I will probably go back to reading that one, which I am really liking. I was unsure of it last week. The more that I've read, the more I am loving it. The whole fake marriage in it is great. I got over thinking the tarot-based magic system was cheesy. I don't think it's cheesy anymore. Sometimes they have little sayings that I'm like, oh, that's a little silly, but it's part of the world building, so I like it. So I think we'll switch to that now. That one I also remembers any move. I have to restart this. Okay. Turmeric. I still don't know how to say that right. Why can't I talk?